Just for no particular reason, I just thought I'd give you a quick look around my cupboards because, like, wonderful thing about cupboards is they can accumulate all kinds of stuff. Some of which is useful, some of which is not useful, some of which is good for you, some of which isn't. Like, I still haven't quite worked out why I put that light bulb in my food cupboard, but never mind. Obviously, a bit of TCP there, just in case I get an infection. I always keep some lurking around. I normally keep that in the medicine cupboard, but now that's over there for reasons which, whatever. Plenty of popcorn. I used to live on it, and now it's about once every 1 or 2 days I have a bowl full as a between meal snack. Baking equipment so I can make myself wonderful pancakes and all the rest of that. Che masse, which is quite stimulating when used in the right way. So it seems to be, which is kind of like a tea. It's like a herbal tea, but I don't have it all that much because some people say there's a bit of a cancer risk to it. So once a day or once every, again, 2 or 3 days, I'll have some che masse for a change. I'm a big fan of tea. I've got Chinese tea there. I've got some white organic lurking around somewhere. Whoops, there goes my phone. There we go, white organic. And of course I've got some good old fashioned regular British builder's tea as they call it. Okay. Food colorings and flavorings. That's again for when I'm making pancakes and I'm making toppings for pancakes and the like. Gram flour, very important, okay, because gram flour is very high in protein. And as a result of that, I can use that for my nutritional needs when I'm trying to get myself fit, which is what I'm doing at the moment, big time. So a lot of the things I'm into is very sort of like protein based. Okay, bag of whole almonds at the back there. I use them to make almond milk. I've got a almond milk making or a nut making bag here. I've got a couple of these things and use that to strain your nut pulp. And with the nut pulp itself, you can make all kinds of, you use it as a spread and shove that in your rice cakes. So you'll end up with something which still contains some protein, some goodness, and also will be comparatively low calorie because you're putting it on the rice cakes. You're not putting it on, let's say, a form of bread for whatever reason. Okay, so that's that one. Up here, we're looking at stores for the winter because, like, sometimes, I mean, I live up a hill, alright, so I don't want to have to break my neck in the ice and snow. These days, thanks to global warming, we get ice and snow, so I want to have a little more food than most people would normally have in their cupboards. Brown lentils, absolutely brilliant. Now I typically decant those off into these things. So this is the one I'm using at the moment. Should keep the lid closed there, and keeping them in these containers keeps any negative, evil shit out of them. To be quite frank, and of course I've got mung beans there as well. Always have a lot of vitamins and minerals on me anyway because I need them for my health, and it's also good for improving my general health and well-being. I have Kilner jar lids because they're used in food preservation and storage for preserving meats and vegetable products when you're doing canning, and I do that quite a lot as well. There's my 3 1 litre thermos flasks, which I use as vacuum cookers. Still do them, they're very good for rice cooking and also just as a form of low energy slow cooker when you don't want to get out the big slow cooker, which I'm currently keeping upstairs, but will be bringing downstairs now. Winter is on its way, slowly but surely. Okay, insulated mug again for winter. I got this one from the RAF base, Royal Air Force Base, where I worked as a accounts administrator many years ago. I was doing a maternity leave cover position, one of those wonderful temporary jobs that you look back on with a certain quantity of both nausea and nostalgia, because it wasn't the happiest experience of my life. This is where I keep all my medicines and herbs and spices, plus a few other random things thrown in. Obviously, gluten-free, because I'm either very low gluten or completely gluten-free, and that just seems to help my health in general. Always keep plenty of rice on stock no matter what, because there was a time in my life when I didn't have job security and I didn't have financial security, and I discovered that if I always had like plenty of kilograms of rice on me somewhere stored up in my house or flat, then I would always be able to eat if there's a delay in a paycheck or a paycheck isn't going to clear. And with the problems I had earlier on this year with Keen.com, I think it's always worthwhile me having a bit too much food in stock anyway, because they hadn't paid for about 6 months and I had to work for another company to get enough money coming in so I could afford to feed myself in the interim period. But on the other hand, I did that. I got through it. Yes, it's a question of more experiences to be being overcome. I'll always have plenty of curry powders. Obviously, I'm very English, and we English people love our traditional ancient English Indian curries. So there's a medium one, there's a tikka flavored one there, some garlic, some other herbs and spices of random natures all over the place. Coffee grinder, that's there to grind linseed, because if you grind linseed, you end up with more protein, you end up with more release of the omega-3 and all kinds of other stuff. So it's quite important to have a coffee grinder, even though I don't always use it to grind coffee. Alright, I've got the top for it further way back in the cupboards in the doom and gloom over there. But essentially it's always important to have one. This one I've inherited from my parents. They haven't died, they just passed it on to me. As you can see, it's got grease and slime on the sides, which probably goes back to the 1960s. So there's little germs on its surface who are probably going, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Cotton balls, you can set fire to them when I'm doing things with fire outside, like in the Kelly kettle, which is good. I don't use them for personal hygiene and cleanliness and ablution, and I'm a little too old to get thousands of spots, so it's not for that sort of thing. Okay, general plates, some of them secondhand or gained from charity shops and whatever. I've got numerous pairs of scissors around the place, but I always can't find them when I need them. It doesn't matter. I've got 2 pairs upstairs. I got 3 pairs downstairs because they're all like from the pound shop or whatever, and they're just they vanish. They just literally these things just vanish. The moment you need them, they sprout legs and they go for a walk or a run. They just go somewhere else. It just bastards, evil. Okay, these are things called pochette rings. You've probably seen them being used in fast food restaurants. You put them onto your frying pan, break your egg into them, and you get a nice little round egg, which makes people think, oh, isn't it nice now my egg is all symmetrical. I use them for making buns when I'm using my gram flour and other forms of gluten-free stuff to to make myself some nice little buns, and they're quite quick. I mean, if you cook gram flour in the oven, it bakes very quickly, but it can taste a bit dry. That's why you need other flours such as buckwheat, rice, and all sorts, just to give it a bit more flavour and to take away the beaniness, because gram flour is just like beans. These things here, these are sauces. Yeah, I don't keep my dining area in the most tidy manner possible, but I do like to make things look nice when I am doing food preparation just for myself. I mean, if I have people come around, yes, it's good to have little things for sauces, but I don't buy regular tomato ketchup. There's no point in me buying regular tomato ketchup when I can make my own ketchup using tomato puree. Using a thickening agent such as arrowroot in the right quantities, because arrowroot is a very strange one. Too much of it or too hot, and you can end up with a glaze, and a glaze is good when you're doing a dessert, but not good when you're cooking your main meal. Now, lots of lids for margarine tubs, because I use margarine tubs. If I get leftover food, I shove it in, after a meal, I shove it into a margarine tub, I shove it in the fridge, and that can become part of the next meal. Just basically using leftovers. Lids for microwavable containers, and a microwavable container up there, because microwave cooking is still very convenient for me. Because if you're working for yourself, you got your time and you got your energy. You got to balance that. And yes, it is good sometimes to log off and take your time. Cut up the vegetables, put it into the steamer, prepare your rice. Make yourself a sauce, fry yourself with this, that, and the other, get out the griddle pan, make something really nice. Sometimes that's like a meditation in its own right. Cooking can be a really therapeutic experience, but sometimes you just don't have the friendly time, because you got to get the place clean and tidy. You got to get out the steam cleaner or do whatever it is else you've got to get done. So yeah, I do still use microwave cooking, because I think it's important to. Okay, some spare hobs. They're portable. I take them down and plug them in when I need them. Always useful to have extra ways of providing heat. Of course, my baking trays are up there. Right at the top there. That's where I'm keeping all of my pots and pans with the handle sticking out, which makes the place look very nice. Right now my work surfaces are a complete tip because I haven't really had time to like tidy them all up, so I'm not showing you that much in that much detail today. But essentially I did a slight massive tidy up here, and I found that I have much more space if I put all my pots and pans up there. So that one's a wok, that's a griddle pan, that's another miniature wok, which was great when I did my first really good stir fry in this flat. Then we got like, oh, there's an egg pan over there and another frying pan over there. Okay, so that's a basic tour of the top part of my kitchen. Did I show you in here properly? Oh yeah, this is where this is like the rise of the machines cupboard, really. Okay, I mean we got the top for the juicer. We got the jar which contains the juice when you've done your juicing. Juicing itself is great. And I do enjoy when the summer comes to have like vegetable juices. Apple and carrot is my best combination. I love it. But there's a problem with that, and that's because it takes up a lot of time, and it also consumes an awful lot of the vegetables and fruits. So it is actually quite an expensive way of getting your nutrition. I mean, if you look at all like the raw vegan videos here on YouTube, they'll always go and say, "Oh, this is wonderful. You know, this is so like efficient in terms of energy." Yeah. On the other hand, you need to have tons of money coming in. You know, it's an upper middle class fantasy if you can, you know, live permanently with a varied diet as a raw vegan. You know, it's not for normal people. And of course, I've got a bag of black-eyed peas over there, more tea in case I run out, and plenty of mashed potato, which is, it's not my favorite food. It really isn't, but you know, it's there if I need it, and I tend to use like half a pack for a meal. Boil up some water, shove it into a mixing bowl, then sprinkle that stuff on top and mix it up with a fork, and after a while you got yourself your instant mashed potato. And you can add to it your tinned peas, and a splash of tomato puree, and hey presto, you got yourself like a meal and you're surviving. Okay, so that's, you know, that's the whole thing. This is a not very good, relatively cheap manual kind of like food processor. It relies mainly upon the sharpness of its blades rather than the speed of them. It is quite good to do some chopping if you want to like cut down on your energy expense to a certain extent. Yes, I do like that sort of thing, but on the other hand, it's not very good. Most of my chopping I'll just do manually with a blade, you know, with a knife, rather than necessarily using that machine. But I do use machines for food preparation and of course preservation too, because you know, I mean, I am interested in food. I think that it's important to have variety. I think it's important to be able to create your own variety, as well as to have a good repertoire of things that you can just cobble together whenever you need it. Alright, so that's the basic like look around my kitchen. What else we got lurking around here? Whoops. Yeah, whopping great. Vegan protein powder made from peas. Because I'm doing all this exercise at the moment. I want to get myself looking good, therefore I'm taking more time and effort to make myself well nourished. And I've got a few other health and fitness stuff lurking around here. Just see what else we got down here just a moment. Because a lot of my effort with health and fitness is to do with strength training. So I got myself some BCAA's branched chain amino acids, and I'm trying to use that as part of my workout. So I do like about half an hour on my cross trainer, and then I would do another half an hour or more of weight training with my free weights. And of course my free weights are down here. Those are my discs which go on my dumbbells. These are the dumbbells, and no, I can't yet put all of those friendly things onto my dumbbells and actually sort of like do proper exercises with them. So currently I've got the 2.5 kilogram discs there and there. The bar itself weighs about half a kilogram, I think. So we're talking about 5.5 kilogram left and right. And I would then do a wide variety of exercises for full body strength, taking into account, you know, my various limitations. I mean, obviously I've got a bad back, I've got bad shoulders, I've got to look after that. My neck isn't too good either, so I have to think carefully about maintaining my posture. This is why I don't have a motivational coach, because they'll tell me to exercise in ways which are bad for me. And so therefore I have to think about what my body can take. I have to research very heavily what my body needs, because we got the internet. I spent a lot of time on the internet anyway, therefore finding out how to manage my health with these friendly things is, quite essential. There we go. And they were quite cheap on eBay as well, so I haven't actually spent a ton of money. I mean, that with my cross trainer would be the equivalent of 3 or 4 months in the gym anyway. So if I use them for 3 or 4 months, then I've got my money back. I haven't had to spend any more money on their expensive protein drinks and sports drinks, and basically it'll be more more financially. I almost said environmentally, but more financially beneficial for me in that respect. What else have I got here? More amino acids, which are also there for muscles and workouts, and have to be used at the right time within your workout routine and daily routine to make sure you get best benefit from it. With this stuff here that I showed you earlier on, my branched chain amino acids, I take them before the strength workout. More gluten-free cereal there, linseed to help with my digestion, and wonderful real coffee. Not because I like it, it's just that sometimes you just need coffee, if you get my drift. It's just compulsory, Humans have brains, they don't work very well. Coffee makes up the difference, if you get my drift, okay? So that's it. And of course now I'm showing you the work surface so you can see how crappy and messy my work surfaces really are, especially as I haven't really got time to tidy everything up right now.